break here. Let me ask you to stand by. I want to bring in Rob D'Amico, a former FBI hostage negotiator who's been involved with previous exchanges. He's joining us now. And Rob, we've talked about this. We've shown that live shot of that airport in Turkey where this prisoner exchange is believed to have taken place. There is an immense amount of choreography that is quite detailed and quite involved that has to take place for a moment like this. Talk us through what must have happened, in your view, behind the scenes to get to this point.
I can only imagine. I conducted one in Afghanistan with the Haqqanis, where they were releasing two of the prisoners, an Australian American. We were releasing three Haqqanis, and it was an up and down. It was a roller coaster. It started to happen. I remember one time we were actually walking the Haqqanis out to the tarmac, and we had to recall them, and the jet had to fly back off. So this probably went back and forth where it was so close, and then something broke down and it didn't happen. So I'm sure on the backside of this, the roller coaster that the government officials were on was very, very immense. You don't tell the families that because it's too hard to go up and down. You only tell them when you really have good news. So that's really the tough part. But this exchange, like I said, is historic in the amount of everyone coming together and actually doing it and making it happen.
We understand that these four individuals we've been talking about here, of course, Evan Gershkovich, Paul Whelan among them, are headed back to the United States, if not already, in fact, in the air. I want to bring back in Rob D'Amico because Rob is somebody who has worked on negotiations like these for prisoner exchanges. What must it be like on that plane?
Oh, I can't. I've talked to a few hostages get released, and some of it's very surreal. Because they've been in captivity. Paul's been in, over 5 years for this day to come. They thought about it and they thought about it, and they're overwhelmed. And it's everyone wants to talk to him. But as he talked about the process that they're going to go through to reintegrate, psychologists and doctors are going to look at it medically. But it's a whole process of coming back. And it takes years. I work, as you know, advisor for the Foley Foundation that works with the families. And if they have their Bringing American Home report that just came out that talks about them, but it also interviews families after they get released and why they're in captivity. And it talks about this, the challenges of both the families and the victims who get released and how many years it takes they'll never get over it, but just to get back into the norm, and they'll appreciate the little things that they've never had before is what I found.
And what is the processing back to quote unquote normal life like once they do land in San Antonio? Having spoken with Trevor Reed, who was previously detained and released, it is a long process at times and sometimes a difficult one.
It is. We prepared for people being released in Afghanistan all the time. And I'm talking to the psychologist. Part of it is just giving them choices. They haven't had choices in so long, what they eat, but you don't give them too many. You just make it between 1 and 2 choices. At least they're starting to dictate for themselves what they do, when they want to go use the restroom and when they want to do this. You have to also protect them from everyone wanting to look and talk to them because it's just too overwhelming. So the doctors will talk to them and see how they feel and who they're willing to talk to. Maybe, again, get them on the phone with family members, but a whole family group right away could be overwhelming. But that's what the doctors are going to do, depending on each victim takes it differently and is prepared for it.